In Tennessee, I-40 has its longest mileage of 455 miles. Entering Tennessee, we are still doing deep mountain driving until you reach the city of Newport. And after crossing Douglas Lake is the interchange with Interstate 81. I-81 ends here at this interchange, but the interesting part about this one is that the I-40 westbound movement is the primary movement here, but drops to one lane. Tennessee loves these Y interchanges, and this is going to be the first of many that you see in this state. Our next interchange of interest is with Tennessee 66, which can take you to Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge, and Sevierville, a hotbed of good old Tennessee tourism. It also takes you to the gates of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, the most popular national park in the United States. Coming into Knoxville, we've got 6 lanes, and the first major interchange is with I-640. This one loops around the city to the north, but it's not a worthy bypass. However, it is useful if you are wanting to get on I-75 northbound. Approaching downtown, you can get a pretty decent glimpse of the skyline to your left. I-275 is a short spur that connects north back to I-75 or I-640. And after all these references to I-75 and opening up to 8 lanes here, we finally encounter that interstate as it joins at the second interchange with I-640. Tennessee has widened this area with the concurrency to 6 to 8 lanes throughout, and we are passing through the heart of Knoxville's suburbia. Big box stores and chain restaurants dominate the landscape. And then there's a spur here for I-140 to Maryville. At the upcoming Y interchange, we get an even split of the lanes with I-75 bound for Chattanooga and I-40 to Nashville. And between here and Nashville, I-40 can be quite the drag. It's just you and the trucks. Lots of trucks. Things start to change as we reach Lebanon. This is the sign that you're entering the Nashville metro area. Right after Lebanon, lanes start being added and you'll see signage for Interstate 840. Interstate 840 is a gigantic outer loop of Nashville. Originally proposed to be a full outer beltway, it was reduced to only the southern side being built for reasons. Tennessee built I-840 to get ahead of the curve and not end up like Atlanta, who desperately needs an outer loop today, but can't build one. Interstate 840 is the more peaceful route, but it's still faster to use I-40 for now. You can feel things getting busier as we close in on Nashville. I-40 passes by Nashville's airport and then we encounter the Briley Parkway, a non-interstate beltway around the city. Nashville has a bunch of clusters of congestion with how the interstates come together here. The first one, which might be the worst one, is the one here between I-40 and I-24. It immediately has another junction with the I-440 loop, which despite its number is often not worth using to try and bypass downtown. I-24, I-40, and I-65 around Nashville merge like a mixing bowl, and you'll see a lot of ridiculous lane switching and merging as drivers cross over trying to continue onto their desired interstate. This probably seemed like a good idea in the 1960s when Nashville was much smaller, but today it is a complete mess. But on the bright side, if you look to your right, downtown Nashville looks pretty cool from the window. At this Y interchange, I-40 exits to the left and you have survived the Nashville loop. Now, Nashville's city limits are very large as it has merged with Davidson County, so you're still in Nashville proper all the way out to exit 192 for McCory Lane. Between Nashville and Memphis, there's not much to see other than the town of Jackson. And a good ways out of the city, we reach I-269, Memphis's outer beltway. It is signed for Jackson, Mississippi and Collierville, and since it doesn't cross the Mississippi River, it's not a suitable bypass for I-40 traffic. But you got to give Tennessee some credit for at least partially building these outer beltways around its largest cities. In this beltway to beltway zone, the truck traffic tends to pick up, but we do get widened to 6 lanes. And then we meet Interstate 240. At this I-240 interchange, I-40 was originally intended to run directly towards downtown Memphis with what is now Sam Cooper Boulevard, which we discussed in this video. After that plan was blocked, I-40 was moved to the northern side of the beltway. Then after a loop around the north side of Memphis, we head back towards downtown. Despite Google jumping the gun on their map, I-69 does not yet exist in Memphis, but in the future it is indeed planned to run concurrently with I-40 here. At the Y interchange in downtown Memphis, where we get reacquainted with I-240, you get a pretty nice shot of the city. And don't miss the famous pyramid to your right. Exit 1 is your last chance to stop in Memphis. Otherwise, it's the Mississippi River, the Hernando de Soto Bridge, and our next state.